Hey y'all, welcome back to the East Coast Outdoorsman. Like the short said, I found that I had something loose on my site, so I'm going to take you guys with me on how to fix it, and hopefully this will help you guys out a little bit when you run into the same problem. With that said, let's get into it. First thing you're going to do, obviously, take it off. It makes it easier to work with when it's not in the bow. You can throw it on your vise if you want, make it a little bit easier, because it's just standing there eye level. But what you're going to want to do is remove the head, because what the problem is, maybe I can get enough light to show it, right there is a Teflon or plastic sleeve that applies pressure to keep everything nice and snug but still movable. So what we got to do is take out these two screws, which is also your second axis. So remember, when we put this back together, you're gonna have to double check your second axis and make sure that it is not loose or coming apart, and get it set back to where it needs to be. So you're just gonna simply take these two out, this one and this one, not too hard, super easy to do. So now you have the head off. I can get you a little better look here. So right there is your culprit. As you move your sight back and forth, and it's gonna wear out. As it wears out, it gets some slack in there, which is allowing the head to vibrate, and which is making that extra vibration noise. Super easy fix. You see these little here and here, those are the set screws that apply pressure to that Teflon or plastic sleeve. So just put a little twist in them. You don't want to hunker them down to the point where it's so tight that it can't move, because that's just the way I do it. I want to be able to move it. I want it to be a little bit of tension, but not too much. So you're simply gonna take it and just snug it down. Not too tight, like I said, just give it a nice little snugging. I like to make them about the same tension. There you go. Now, the nice thing on these Axcel Accutouch older sights is you have this, so it stops it. You can't move it, but give it a couple clicks. Remember how many you go. A little tighter, a little firmer, but feels good. So now we gotta put the head back on. And as you can see, remember, this is your second axis. You have this dimple here. That dimple is gonna go right in that sleeve. And that is what allows it to pivot. So that's how you set your second axis. So you put that back in the dimple, like so. Put your screws back. Like I said, this is a super easy thing to do. It's not that hard. And you want to keep your bow in tip-top shape. You don't want that extra vibration. One, because it's not good. That's how you wear out parts. But two is you want your bow to be as quiet as you can have it, especially for hunting applications. Target doesn't really matter if it's loud or if it vibrates, but for hunting, you want to have your setup as quiet as possible, because the game that you're hunting, especially like whitetails, they can hear a string and they can jump it. So snug it down, not all the way yet. Remember, I said keep a mental note of roughly where your second axis was. So the other cool thing about these sights is that they have these little laser etch marks here and here. I know that my second axis was just off the big main center line. So before you have everything tightened down, move it over to where you want it. That's gonna get me pretty daggone close. Now, if you have one of those third axis rigs, put it in, redial everything, make sure it's perfect. I don't, I do it the old school way with levels and the vise and moving the bow up and down, and then I shoot it in. But now it's all back together. Everything's tight. Back to where it was originally. I'll put it back on the bow, and then we'll recheck second and third axis just to make sure that when we were breaking stuff loose and moving, torquing the head, we didn't make any mistakes. Everything's still on, because you don't want to forget that and miss your chance of an opportunity of a lifetime because you skipped a step. So make sure you check your second axis. When we're done this, check your third axis, because we are manipulating the head, moving it, twisting it in and out. All right, now it's time to put the sight back on the bow. Little tip, take a silver Sharpie, mark where you put your sight into, which is here. Slide it back in, make sure it's lined up with your mark. And this is kind of important because moving your sight in and out will change your elevation. Farther in, farther out will change where you impact. So it's important that once you have yourself sighted in, you put it back where you originally had it, so you have no sight-in issues. So now everything looks good and tight. Let's see how she sounds here. A little rattle, but it's a movable sight. Lots of parts, but definitely better than it was. It's pretty simple to adjust this, so I think everyone should learn how to do it if you run this particular sight. We got it close, and you're ready to get back out there and start hammering with a little bit quieter bow. So if you like the content I'm putting out, give me a like, subscribe. Don't forget to comment. Anyone that subscribes or you watch, comment, pop in, say hello. I want to get to know who you are. I'll comment back, and yeah, let's keep this going. Thank you guys, I appreciate y'all. Have a good day.